Can't believe that the Canadian captain is still smiling.
King on the river. King on the river. River card. Give us one time. One time.
Is there such a thing as poker karma? No, there isn't. The aces hold up, and the Germans double up through the Canadians.
That's really embarrassing.
I didn't know.
Okay. No.
He doesn't snap, and he looks at me and he goes like this. Of course, I'm sorry for that. He told me as aces, I'm like,
Oh, it's turned into a United Nations Security Council meeting. To be fair, the Germans later apologised with beer. You can catch more top fives and adopt them into your poker watching repertoire at pokerstars.tv. With so much at stake in a game of poker, emotions can run high, players can lose their cool, and outbursts can occur.
You're gonna be the only man to like do something like that, baby.
Here are 5 times we witnessed maximum tilt.
You come to my game and you're wasting my time.
At number 5, Ryan D'Angelo thought he was teaching Ben Zamani a lesson at the PCA 2010 final table, but it ended up being a demonstration of rather poor etiquette.
D'Angelo's going to bet here. He should get Zamani to fold the ace high.
It's quite a smallish bet though, isn't it? Into a pretty big pot.
There's about 1.4 million in the pot. He only bets 375,000, about 25% of the pot.
I like that. Should get Zamani to fold, but he doesn't. He makes the call with ace high, and the rivers are blank. Ace high's good.
Ace high is good, but it's going to be pretty tough to win with this. If he checks, he's going to have to bet to win this pot.
575.
Question is, if D'Angelo thinks he's light here, can he take him off the hand with a raise?
Yeah, I think if D'Angelo decides that he's going to get involved here, he should be raising.
Instead he calls.
You win.
He calls. I guess he puts him on 6-7 or 5-6 here.
No, Ryan's sister. He's lost.
Oh my god, I called you with queen high, dude. Oh my god. Oh god, that hurts. I thought I might have the best hand. I didn't think he'd call with the worst hand. You're so bad. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Is he talking to himself or Ben?
It's the sickest thing ever. Like, oh my god. You really called pre with that? So bad.
Oh, he's talking to Zamani.
Wow.
you 3-bet queen 6 pre, so I don't think you can point fingers.
Yeah, I guess, but that's the sick. What are you doing, Ben? Oh my god.
I think it's time to move on, Ryan.
What are you doing? So bad.
Strong words from Ryan, but at least the entire poker room wasn't exposed to his venting. At 4, check out this blink and you'll miss it moment from EPT 10 Barcelona, as Max Greenwood gets it in good, only to lose less than gracefully. Kings against Jacks with just one card to come. And it's a Jack! Can't believe
Oh,
that
boy.
the Canadian a brutal captain is beat still from Greenwood. smiling.
Kidding me?
Oh. Maximum Greenwood, maximum tiltage.
A tad shouty, but clearly an honest reaction. Oh, God. The jury's still out on Tony G in the big game. Was he genuinely upset, or just trying to push Andrew Roble over the edge?
I'm gonna bet 50.
Tony bets 50,000.
See if you're a real man.
50,000.
Tony's playing mind games to make it look like he's trying to buy it, and he's even making it personal. Yesterday he told Daniel he was gonna put the pressure on Roble, and he's doing it now.
Oh, I want to call the clock. I want to call the clock. Come on, internet you play like in 1 second. And when you come here now, you come to my game and you're wasting my time.
On the internet, people
On your
don't bet
bike.
3 times a pot every
On
night.
your bikes! Get Amanda! Amanda! Bring a tricycle!
Call the clock.
Bring your tricycle.
It's ridiculous. These kids are coming here, taking me on.
Tony, calm down, please.
Tony, I need to know, did you bring a bike for me? So if I ship it all in, do I get a bike? Like at least, do I get a novelty prize?
Now you're mocking the mat.
Now, you're on the clock. You've got 1 minute, and then we're going to do a 10-second countdown, all right?
That is floorman Tom Keene putting Andrew Roble on the clock.
This is all part of Tony's mind games to try to get Andrew steamed enough to call.
Okay, you're at 1 minute. You got 10-second countdown. At 10 seconds, your hand will be dead. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fold.
Let's see a deuce 9. A deuce and a 9, Tony G.
Good fold.
He didn't show, so it's a good fold.
Good fold. Made the hero lay down.
What did you have?
Pair of sixes?
What'd you have, ace queen?
Around that.
Credit to Roble for keeping his cool. The same can't be said for Vanessa Selbst at EPT 8 Berlin. Going deep in the main event, she found herself seated opposite her friend Kevin McPhee. Cue completely unnecessary conflict. Vanessa re-raises a 4-bet to 79,000.
Against just about any other player, I think this is the point where Kevin would probably ditch this like an ugly date on prom night.
Whoa, he's just 5-bet to 131,000.
Ayah with ace-9 offsuit. Now take what I just said about Kevin and apply it to Vanessa.
How much do you have left?
You know, like this many. This is absolute insanity with these two hands. Did we get the graphics right?
I'm all in.
She 6-bet shoves.
Double Ayah.
Still probably have the best hand.
Title defense. 2 years later, I call.
OMG, he calls.
You have ace jack?
No,
I have a pair.
I have ace 9.
Correct reaction. You're complicit in this too, Selbsty.
What just happened?
Huh? Think that's a snap?
Snap fold, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Nice him. Nice call, I guess.
The flop has an ace on it.
Because you're Vanessa Selbst?
McPhee takes the lead. Vanessa needs a 4.
Sick race.
Nice him.
McPhee set to get a huge double up here. And another ace for good measure.
The needle. She can't believe it. I can't believe it. Can you believe it?
As hard as it is to believe, that just happened.
Very nice him.
My plan was to call, but I
It's
wanted
a
to
good.
make
No,
sure.
it's a nice
I
one.
mean,
So yeah.
Does Liv even know what happened?
She's about to find out.
The worst play I've ever seen. What? He like goes after me every time. I have no idea why. He's a friend of mine. He put that on TV. It's the worst play ever. I don't know why friend's going after me, but he does it every single tournament. He goes after me.
Liv's face says it all. Well, no countdown of blow-ups would be complete without the poker brat himself. In fact, he may be deserving of a top 5 of his own.
Way.
At number 1, here's the best of the worst of Phil Hellmuth Jr.
A lot of players would feel forced or frustrated into calling here, but great players, they fold here sometimes.
Oh, man.
That's only sometimes. Let's see if Phil can get away.
Calls.
King, I only play the nuts like you, buddy.
Dario wins a $55,000 pot.
If I have it.
Oh boy, that's gonna be the one.
It's just unreal what happens to me at this place. I mean, I'm just so sick of it, you know? I mean,
I had the best on the chart, I had the best hand on the river.
You guys have 2 outs every pot we play.
the best on pre-flop. And I had the best hand pre-flop, unless you're
Yes,
ace-7.
nice hand, buddy.
Actually, come to think of it, maybe this one is worse.
Tony G makes the call.
Phil looking to the cameras for answers.
Is this for real? Are they recording this? I mean,
Are you recording this?
is this for real? I mean,
No, Phil, you're not being punked.
yeah, it's for real.
He does fold.
Nice. It's just so much fun here. I mean,
I wanted to give you the opportunity to participate, but you did. That's all.
don't worry, Tony. I just had pocket tens. That's all. I just had a bad feeling you had the queens. Yeah.
Wait. This outburst is probably more deserving of first prize.
Call.
That's 10 grand. Phil calls. Sees the bad news.
He has a full house.
You didn't raise?
At least maybe we'll get the blow up we're all waiting for.
I know you got a flush.
The 9. This guy's raising.
He's got a 9. You try.
Explosion's about to happen.
Bring the trike. Bring the trike. You can't drive a bike.
God, it's extraordinarily. Just so unlucky. I'm really getting sick of this. 4 or 5 offsuit.
Please, the game all evens out.
Bottom pair against top pair. Bottom pair against top pair. Where he's going to pay me off another 7,000, 8,000. But no, he fills up and wins 14 for me.
You're a disgrace to the game. Where do you come up with that?
I'll tell you. Can I tell you one thing, Tony? Can I tell you one thing?
No, you're a disgrace.
Can I tell you one thing or not? Or are you just going to interrupt me? Because if you interrupt, go ahead. I just won't say anything.
Yeah, let him talk. I want to hear. I'm curious.
Can I tell you one thing? I wish that I weren't a bad loser sometimes, but it's 10 times as bad to be a bad winner. And you're a bad winner, my friend.
Well, that Helmuthian explosion concludes our top 5 blow-ups.
That's so sick. Oh my god.
Keep watching Pokerstars.tv for more countdowns.
Kidding me?
The poker room is a melting pot of personalities. Some you want at your table.
I like playing with you, it's fun.
Others you definitely don't.
No way.
So, which is likely to tilt you the most? Well, honorable mentions go to the lag. It's a 7-bet jam. The bully.
Get the hell out of here.
The actor. And the psychic.
I'm thinking aces or kings.
But here's our top 5. When you can't win a pot to save your life, you can just roll with the punches.
Kidding me?
Or you can make sure everyone knows how unlucky you are.
I just want to know if I won one hand in the last 60 hands.
And no one plays the victim better than Philip Hellmuth.
Show some class.
Jr.
Ivy fires 23,000.
I'm gonna raise. I'm all in.
Call.
He said call. Hold it. Okay, I gotta do some reverse insurance here, I guess, Phil.
What's that?
5% you got, man. How much you got?
How
much you wanna bet?
What do you want to do? You got
How
10
many
outs.
outs do I have? 10 outs? So
10 out of 44, 1 out of 11.
what?
Or not 1 out of 4.4, I mean.
3.4?
1 out of 4.4. You win 1 out of every 4.4 times. So yeah, 3.4.
So I'll do,
I don't really care.
What are the odds to hit?
44 cards, 10 of them win.
You know, I have a bad feeling for this. I don't want to do it.
I feel like I'm gonna lose it too, so.
Let's just play.
Here comes 7 of spades. Rip that 7 of spades.
I have a bad feeling.
Okay, so does that mean we're dealing with the last card?
well, no, I mean, I want to get some insurance. I don't want to be out
Well,
of
are
the
you gonna
game.
give it to
I
him?
don't even know which
I'm
side
not
you
giving
want.
it to him.
He's not giving it to him. Are you gonna give it to
Why
him?
don't you give it to him?
Only if you do
I don't
put
do
big
it.
money out there.
I'm not interested. I want to see the last card.
I don't do it. I
Only
don't see
if
the
you
last
pay
card.
the-
All right, deal it then, I guess. There's nothing I can do.
Are there any picture cards in there?
3.
Helmuth gets his policy bid rejected.
Oh, I finally trapped somebody. Just unbelievable. I waited all day and flopped top set, and he had 6-8. Had him out.
No insurance and no more chips.
All right, I'll play another 100,000. I can't quit. Phil, will you give me 100? I have money at the Bellagio.
Okay, but I need it from somebody, so why don't you just give him 100, Dur? Because I don't want to. Because nobody's in jeopardy of going.
Yeah, Dur, you got everybody covered, right?
Yeah, 5 at least.
That's really nice. Really nice. I waited all that time, flop top set. And Phil flopped a straight. And Daniel's booking me.
Hey, listen, I had the best hand when all the money went in. That's what I had.
I didn't have the best hand, but I'll tell you something, man. I wish you could book me every day in this game.
I can book you every day. Do that.
Top set. It's just unbelievable. I mean, how bad can I run?
If you find yourself sat next to a victim, you may be tempted to start drinking.
Might need some cocktails.
Cocktails, TV table.
Order me whatever you get.
But we urge moderation. Otherwise, you might make number 4 on our countdown.
Madismer 4-betting the guy who's 4 sheets to the wind.
Good call.
A cab, hopefully.
277.5. That's 2.
Just trust the dealer.
We got there eventually. Mur way ahead. But Teska catches a piece on the flop.
Fun flop for queens.
Mur continues for 202,000.
You gotta bet it because there's so many draws out there.
And Roger calls.
Teska's hand would sometimes be good, but it's not easy to improve.
While the 7 on the turn gives him a gut shot.
Not a great card for queens, and you can see why Mur would want to play a slightly smaller pot now.
He checks. And Teska checks behind.
Once Roger checks the turn, I think Mattis has an easy value bet on the river.
The river is a 4. Mur with a lock on the hand. Clearly going to go for value. Question is how much? That is 377,000.
I think Roger Teska strapped on a pair of beer goggles.
You know I'm trying to make a call right now, so convince me that I should.
Mur would never take this line as a bluff, and I don't think he's ever value betting worse.
Where did that drink come from? I thought they cut him off.
He's just getting a read here. Look at this. It's amazing. Also, why is the room spinning?
Teska calls. And loses nearly 1 million chips to Mattis Mur.
Mur knew exactly what he was doing there.
Oops.
I don't think it needs any more commentary than that.
Mattis Mur regains the tournament chip lead as day 4 draws to a close.
Somebody want to back me up?
Yes. Where should we have your body delivered?
According to legend, drink loosens the tongue. But some players don't need a liquid lift to get their motors running. Miss Selpst and her bestest friend, William Kassouf. She's raised, he's called.
Okay, Vanessa, what you got? Now we're heads up. Wait, you got a pair? Yes or no?
It's possible.
Ace high flop.
Vanessa's so good at the analytical portion of the game, but her table talk could use a little work.
Standard C, but let me just see if I've got this ace that I need to continue in this hand. I was lucky.
Doesn't hit Jack Deuce.
No, I haven't got Jack Deuce. Well, I think you got King Queen.
I think you might be right. Your move, hotshot.
I've got to find out where I am, right?
Ugh.
Can't just play. I'm in position, a scary board. I mean, if you want to play
A big pot. Do you want to play big pot or small pot? It's up to you. Big pot or small pot, depending on your answers.
Depends on
my
the
action.
turn.
Well, before we get to the turn, depending on your answers, how I'm going to play this hand, whether I raise or just black call. Do you want to play a big pot or a small pot? Small pot, it's up to you.
Medium.
Medium? Okay, I'll raise.
It's obvious the answer there was just yes.
36 more.
Show the Jack 5.
I won't, I'll show the Jack 9. Whee! Here we go, here we go. You see, no ace can't call, here we go. It's all going in. This level, one of us is going out, I swear.
No ace can't
Listen, go hard or go home. We're not messing with Hey, bello, eh? Wow, wow. But why I make this move? I have Jack of Heart, this big card. Jack of Heart, you see, big heart. Heart comes on the turn.
Do you think that you didn't have the best hand?
I think I maybe. Well, I've got to protect my hand.
Actually, really
I had to find out. I had to find out where I was. I wasn't sure.
He might not have known where he was, but I have a pretty good feeling Vanessa's about to tell him where to go.
Oh, yeah.
As far as table nightmares go, the first three could be considered moderately entertaining if you're not actually in the pot. The one trait that's likely to upset everyone is the player who takes forever. Well, there's a king and a 10. Top pair for Bernius, but 2 pair for Clark.
Sick, from dominated to dominating. And can we get this guy a scuba tank?
Tank being the operative word. Action check to the pre-flop aggressor. Clark continues with the best hand. Bernius continues with the breathing and calls the 175,000.
Top pair, awesome kicker, gotta call.
4 diamonds puts a potential flush out there.
Can you breathe? Can you breathe?
Bernius checks for a second time. And Clark checks behind.
Come on, dude, you gotta bet that.
And it's a queen on the river. Bernius now with a better 2 pair.
King, queen should probably bet now.
No, he checks for a 3rd time. Looks like Clark's going to go for value. 425,000.
This should be a snap call as soon as he catches his breath.
There's the call. And Clark will see he got rivered.
Nailed it.
Sick. Gilberni is the German amateur building a stack, but possibly in need of medical attention.
I might have to start calling the clock. Can't you take so long?
Pardon?
You tank for too long.
Sorry.
As tilting as it is to have a tanker at your table, it's always satisfying when someone calls them out.
On the internet, you play like in 1 second, and when you come here now, you come to my game, and you're wasting my time.
But what happens when the know-it-all starts giving you advice?
Have you ever seen a man get that much value out of second pair with no kicker?
What are you doing, Ben? Oh my god.
Yes, it's the biggest table nightmare of them all, the poker expert.
I call him.
And Elke makes a very quick call. He doesn't even think about what his opponent might have. He thought his trip twos were good, and look, he is devastated.
Oh, look at Elke. He's just destroyed now.
Shouldn't play bad aces.
I don't think this man needs a lesson in poker right now, Magnus.
No, that was extremely poor etiquette. He didn't need to make that comment.
From Peterson's put down to Lusk's lecture.
If I put my chips in there, unless you go all in, I will not lay down my hand. You raise me 40, 50, 60, 80.
I had a good hand. You're lucky I had the hand that didn't hit, the only hand that I raised there with that doesn't hit the flop.
I know it yet. That's why I took the extra card first. Because sometimes you are rude enough to play like you have 3 jacks.
Yeah, but I would check 2 with any pair of the jacks in which.
I know your game. But you take me, I know what you take me for. Pair of 9s, 10s, 8s.
And let's not forget Telcher the teacher.
But I was afraid he might make a move. You're probably wrong not to raise with ace.
I know you should not raise. You just call. You want to knock the player out. It's the only thing interesting. So you can call, check. Whoever's got nut bets. Just trust me, okay? I know what I'm doing.
There's definitely value in knocking someone out.
You just knock the guy out. That's all you ever do. Jesus Christ.
I normally don't play like that.
Silas, don't talk anymore. You're giving your nonsensical understanding of the game away. So keep quiet.
It was only 80,000.
All you want to do is just to knock the guy out. That's all you ever want to do in this game. Just trust me. Your value goes up massively by knocking a player out. Just take my word for that, okay? Take it to the bank. That's the best piece of advice I've ever given you. Knock a player out in this level.
Well, we're not going to tell you what to do, but we do recommend that you watch more Top 5s on Pokerstars.tv.
I'm learning from these youngsters.
Every game or sport has intense rivalries.
You're so bad, you don't even understand it.
I'm so happy to be so bad.
And poker is no exception.
You're the greatest, buddy. Hold on, let me get your signature.
It's when a conflict develops over time, when the competition becomes personal, and when adversaries become fierce foes.
Once he goes after me every time. I have no idea why.
Here are 5 of the most notorious rivalries.
Well, maybe we just get a little shippy right at the end.
Number 5 is less mano a mano and more man against machine. That man is an impatient Tony G.
Oh, I want to call the clock. Come on the internet, you play like in 1 second. And when you come here now, you come to my game, and you're wasting my time.
And the machine is the computer-like brain of internet pro Andrew Roble.
Action on the Granu. That's 18-5.
3 10s is a tough bluff to pull off, so Daniel is most likely trying to rep a big ace or maybe a straight. His bet is designed to bluff Roble off a king, maybe. I don't think Daniel thinks he could get Roble to fold a big ace, though.
I was so crushed after that final. I could cry.
I'm going to walk out. If these guys are going to come here, waste my time, I'm going to walk out of the game. It's a joke. F***ing hell, he's thinking 20 minutes every f***ing hand he's playing. F***ing nit.
Here comes floorman Tom Keene.
All right, Andrew, we're going to go through the same thing.
You play online, it's like quick. 2 seconds, bang, bang, they're pressing buttons. They come here, they freeze up.
Daniel's done a good job of making this look like a value bet, so Andrew has a legit decision to make. He seems to be doing a good job of tuning Tony out.
He folds.
What? After all that, he finally threw it away. I mean, I had a 6. But
Daniel shows the bluff.
You qualified.
I was so happy you called the clock, Tony. High five for the assist there, just in case.
I don't think he had anything, and he had to move in himself.
While in recent years, Daniel has had a rivalry of his own with Eric Seidel. Yes, it's 1 and 2 on the all-time money list. They were far from friends, but frequently shared a table in super high rollers, and Daniel seemed to always get the better of his rival.
Eric and I are very different people. He's very quiet, I'm not. There's not much in terms of camaraderie or words said between us.
And let's not forget this 2-outer from the EPT8 Grand Final. Blinds are up to 10 and 20,000 with a 3,000 ante. Pocket 10s for Daniel Negreanu. Wow, what's that, 4x raise?
More than.
E4, ready?
Holy misclicks.
The small baller accidentally decided to play with a bigger ball. Yep.
Eric Seidel with pocket kings will 3-bet to 210,000.
Gotta wonder if Daniel might think Eric's 3-betting because Daniel had that little freak out.
Come on.
Whoops.
Ay-ya.
I call.
Seidel obviously calls.
A misclick got me.
Oh, sick. Sick. That's kind of sick if you see with stands too.
I know, right? Then I had to then it forced me to get a little crazier.
Yeah, because
Really surprised to see the shove there. Daniel almost always just calls in spots like that.
you're gonna hit in 10.
So, that'd be good.
Seidel is the player at risk, but Negreanu is a huge underdog here. Even bigger dog now.
Really bad flop for Daniel. Can't even hit any running cards to save himself. He's still got the same 2 outs he started with, just 3 less chances to hit one.
Now just 1 chance. Just 5%.
Sometimes that shove will make Daniel look like a genius. This time, not so much.
Seidel set for the double up. A 10 on the river!
You were right, thanks, Tobias. I run good. I got him covered.
Gross.
All right, good luck, everyone.
Eric Seidel sent to the rail in horrific fashion.
I thought you were right, too, but then it started to look scary.
Daniel busted him in the PCA super high roller also. Brutal.
Oh, that was fun.
From understated animosity to a more tumultuous tangling. The skirmish at number 3 occurred at the 2015 PCA, where Maurice Hawkins felt slighted by Sham Srinivasan, and things escalated quickly. Sham adds 63k to his stack. And seems happy about it.
Have you ever seen a man get that much value out of second pair with no kicker?
Is this where you like do a backdoor comment because you want to be the coolest guy at the table?
Nah.
You already snicker after every damn hand I play. I don't say anything because I care less, but
Don't take anything personally.
that's personal when you win a pot and you say, you ever seen somebody get value out of the second pair and third plays? You're the greatest, buddy. Hold on, let me get your signature.
All right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and play ourselves some poker.
I concur.
That's what we need to do and stop commentating like you. Hey, they got a mic back there somewhere.
I've got one.
Give him the mic, Richard. He can commentate himself. He's the greatest. How about you just make your money and keep your mouth shut?
Let's not drag Richard into this.
Get your ego involved. Why don't you get that? Because you already got a big ego.
This is great.
Queen Jack against King Jack. Maurice is raised.
I hope they're not done.
Ego in poker, ego broke. Yeah, I can say whatever I want. Trust me. I play poker every day. Ego in poker, ego broke.
There's a 3-bet from Sham.
And you really don't need to 3-bet a hand that plays this well post-flop. Definitely some chatterbox play at work here.
How much more is it?
Does it matter? You're calling.
Let's find out how much value you're going to get out of your hand now, buddy.
Oh, dear.
Smart ass comment. Check, buddy. Go ahead. Manipulate the situation.
Top pair for Maurice.
This is yes.
All right, check. I did the check thing.
Unfortunately for Sham, a c-bet here is what he's supposed to do.
He does continue for 31,000.
All in.
Wow.
Can I get a count, please?
All in.
Yep.
Ego in poker, ego broke.
Actually, not a bad shove.
You better learn how to play poker without ego, buddy. Your ass will go broke eventually. Win, lose, or draw. Be a man, play a man's game.
He doesn't speak for all of us, ladies.
I hope I win. And I promise you, I'm gonna be a man. I won't say nothing. I just drag the pot like a champ, because I'm a born champ.
Sham folds.
Ego in poker, ego broke.
We get it.
See how much value I got out of 10 high?
While some players prefer to let their chips do the talking. All their chips. At number 2, we find Vanessa Selbst and Dan Schack, both renowned for taking unconventional lines. Neither averse to taking risks. They can often be found playing big buy-in events and always seem to butt heads.
There's been a lot of drama.
I don't know, we just have a history of playing really big pots against each other. A couple of times recently, he's made some really big shoves.
I'm all in.
I know that I just had a good hand and called him. Well,
But obviously it was a cooler situation for her.
is that real?
And I feel bad because, you know, I consider her, you know, if not the best in the game, one of the best in the game right now.
I hope you get him.
Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate it.
He's had my number in number of a couple major final tables.
The super high roller back at the PCA, I was second in chips. She was first. I honestly had a bad read, thought I had the best hand. All in.
And Shaq shoves!
OMG ICM suicide.
The announcer said it was ICM suicide on my part because it was on the bubble.
He's not representing that many hands. I have a really strong hand. It just boils down to one of those situations where I'm just gonna call every time. I call.
Vanessa calls! And Dan Schack is at risk of bubbling the super high roller.
She made an amazing call, but I knew in any case I had a lot of outs, and, you know, I'm not afraid to take a risk.
It's a 10!
That was not supposed to happen.
Given how absurd it was, given the situation with all those tiny stacks, we shouldn't have been playing that big a pot at that stage of the tournament. I just lost like 2 million chips. I lost 2 million chips.
You know, I obviously won the last 2 big confrontation hands with her, but over the years, she's probably has gotten the best of me way more than I've gotten the best of her.
And now Vanessa Selbst can celebrate.
These just have been a couple high-profile hands in key situations.
Now, is anyone shocked that Tony G appears twice on this list?
You know it.
He's had his fair share of verbal brawls at the tables.
You come to my game and you're wasting my time.
None more impassioned than his squabble with a multi-bracelet winning man-child.
I love you. You're the best, Phil. You guys are the best. I have to clean you out every time I play with you. I love it. Oh, I'm gonna put you so badly. I hope you got lots of rebuys.
You're the worst player at the table.
I love to be the worst player.
It's the rivalry so entertaining, the big game built an entire episode around it. At number 1, Tony G versus Phil Hellmuth Jr.
All right, I opened for the pot.
And you looked, right?
Well, I think I looked. Allegedly, I looked.
Tony.
I'm all in.
Pot limit, brah.
Without looking?
Without looking.
Pretty sure he looked.
Well, you can't be all in.
66.
Tony repots it with ace king.
All right. You slow down. You slow down a bit. Are you going to save the rest?
Not if he believes you haven't looked.
Wow, all that talking makes me think he's strong. I was for sure gonna call before that.
15 on top, Tony.
He's saying he hasn't looked though.
He most certainly looked. Did no one see him?
Did you look at your cards at all? I mean, it's...
Look, the people at home, no, I haven't looked.
Well, if you haven't looked, Guess I'll just move in.
Right. Phil ships and Tony calls.
All right, you're close. You're up there.
Oh, you lied.
Of course I lied. It's poker, Phil. What do you think this is?
Wow.
What do you think? I'm blind? How many times do you want to run?
Well, I asked you if you had looked or not.
Do you want to run it how many times?
I'll let you choose, Tony.
3 times.
I always lose, so you kind of deserve to lose the first one.
I do deserve. I hope you win one.
Why would you lie? I mean, no, let's consider totally not uncool, man. I mean, it's not right.
I feel it's just a game.
That's etiquette, though. I mean, you don't
Phil,
say you were blind.
what happens on this table in play is just a game. We tell whatever we want.
So
when do you
all
tell
the
the
rules
truth?
of poker are just thrown out the window.
Well,
for you.
Call the floorman if you think my hand might be dead. Then
you don't say you haven't looked at your cards when you haven't looked at your cards. You don't.
Where do you come here now? You come to my game and you're wasting my time.
And the machine is the computer-like brain of internet pro Andrew Roble.
Action on Negreanu. That's 18-5.
3-10s is a tough bluff to pull off, so Daniel is most likely trying to rep a big ace or maybe a straight. His bet is designed to bluff Roble off a king, maybe. I don't think Daniel thinks he could get Roble to fold a big ace, though.
I was so crushed after that final. I could cry.
I'm going to walk out. If these guys are going to come here, waste my time, I'm going to walk out of the game. It's a joke. F***ing hell, he's thinking 20 minutes every f***ing hand he's playing. F***ing nit.
Here comes floorman Tom Keene.
All right, Andrew, we're going to go through the same thing.
You play online, it's like quick. 2 seconds, bang, bang, they're pressing buttons. They come here, they freeze up.
Daniel's done a good job of making this look like a value bet, so Andrew has a legit decision to make. He seems to be doing a good job of tuning Tony out.
He folds.
What? After all that, he finally threw it away. I mean, I had a 6. But
Daniel shows the bluff.
You qualified.
I was so happy you called the clock, Tony. High five for the assist there, just in case.
I don't think he had anything, and he had to move in himself.
While in recent years, Daniel has had a rivalry of his own with Eric Seidel. Yes, it's 1 and 2 on the all-time money list. They were far from friends, but frequently shared a table in super high rollers, and Daniel seemed to always get the better of his rival.
Eric and I are very different people. He's very quiet. I'm not. There's not much in terms of camaraderie or words said between us.
And let's not forget this 2-outer from the EPT8 Grand Final. Blinds are up to 10 and 20,000 with a 3,000 ante. Pocket 10s for Daniel Negreanu. Wow, what's that, 4x raise?
More than.
Equal? Ready?
Holy misclicks.
The small baller accidentally decided to play with a bigger ball. Yep.
Eric Seidel with pocket kings will 3-bet to 210,000.
Gotta wonder if Daniel might think Eric's 3-betting because Daniel had that little freak out.
Come on.
Whoops.
Ay-ya.
I call.
Seidel obviously calls.
A misclick got me.
Oh, sick. Sick. That's kind of sick if you see with sense too.
I know, right? Then I had to then it forced me to get a little crazier.
Yeah, because
Really surprised to see the shove there. Daniel almost always just calls in spots like that.
you're gonna hit a 10.
So, that'd be good.
Seidel is the player at risk, but Negreanu is a huge underdog here. Even bigger dog now.
Really bad flop for Daniel. Can't even hit any running cards to save himself. He's still got the same 2 outs he started with, just 3 less chances to hit one.
Now just 1 chance. Just 5%.
Sometimes that shove will make Daniel look like a genius. This time, not so much.
Seidel set for the double up. A 10 on the river!
You were right. Thanks, Tobias. I run good. I got him covered.
Gross.
All right, good luck, everyone.
Eric Seidel sent to the rail in horrific fashion.
I thought you were right, too, but then it started to look scary.
Daniel busted him in the PCA super high roller also. Brutal.
Oh, that was fun.
from understated animosity to a more tumultuous tangling. The skirmish at number 3 occurred at the 2015 PCA, where Maurice Hawkins felt slighted by Sham Srinivasan, and things escalated quickly. Sham adds 63k to his stack, and seems happy about it.
Have you ever seen a man get that much value out of second pair with no kicker?
Is this where you like do a backdoor comment because you want to be the coolest guy at the table?
Nah.
You already snicker after every damn hand I play. I don't say anything because I care less, but
Don't take anything personally.
that's personal when you win a pot and you say, "You ever seen somebody get value out of the second pair and fed plays? You're the greatest, buddy. Hold on, let me get your signature."
All right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and play ourselves some poker.
I concur.
That's what we need to do and stop commentating like you. Hey, they got a mic back there somewhere.
I've got one.
Give him the mic, Richard. He can commentate himself. He's the greatest. How about you just make your money and keep your mouth shut?
Let's not drag Richard into this.
Get your ego involved. Why don't you get that? Because you already got a big ego.
This is great.
Queen Jack against King Jack. Maurice is raised.
I hope they're not done.
Ego in poker, ego broke. Yeah, I can say whatever I want. Trust me. I play poker every day. Ego in poker, ego broke.
There's a 3-bet from Sham.
And you really don't need to 3-bet a hand that plays this well post-flop. Definitely some chatterbox play at work here.
How much more is it?
Does it matter? You're calling.
Let's find out how much value you're going to get out of your hand now, buddy.
Oh, dear.
Smart ass comment. Check, buddy. Go ahead. Manipulate the situation.
Top pair for Maurice.
This is yes.
I checked. I did the check thing.
Unfortunately for Sham, a C-bet here is what he's supposed to do.
He does continue for 31,000.
All in.
Wow.
Can I get a count, please?
All in.
Yep.
Ego in poker, ego broke.
Actually, not a bad shove.
You better learn how to play poker without ego, buddy. You have to go broke eventually. Win, lose, or draw. Be a man, play a man's game.
He doesn't speak for all of us, ladies.
I hope I win. And I promise you, I'm gonna be a man. I won't say nothing. I just drag the pot like a champ, because I'm a born champ.
Sham folds.
Ego in poker, ego broke.
We get it.
See how much value I got out of 10 high?
While some players prefer to let their chips do the talking. All their chips. At number 2, we find Vanessa Selbst and Dan Shack, both renowned for taking unconventional lines. Neither averse to taking risks. They can often be found playing big buy-in events and always seem to butt heads.
There's been a lot of drama.
I don't know, we just have a history of playing really big pots against each other. A couple of times recently, he's made some really big shoves.
I'm all in.
I know that I just had a good hand and called him. Call.
But obviously it was a cooler situation for her.
Is that real?
And I feel bad because, you know, I consider her, you know, if not the best in the game, one of the best in the game right now.
I hope you get him.
Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate it.
He's had my number and number of a couple major final tables.
The super high roller back at the PCA, I was second in chips, she was first. I honestly had a bad read, thought I had the best hand. All in.
And Shaq shoves!
OMG, ICM suicide.
The announcers said it was ICM suicide on my part because it was on the bubble.
He's not representing that many hands. I have a really strong hand. It just boils down to one of those situations where I'm just gonna call every time. I call.
Vanessa calls! And Dan Shack is at risk of bubbling the super high roller.
She made an amazing call, but I knew in any case I had a lot of outs and, you know, I'm not afraid to take a risk.
It's a 10!
That was not supposed to happen.
Given how absurd it was, given the situation with all those tiny stacks, we shouldn't have been playing that big a pot at that stage of the tournament. I just lost like 2 million chips. I lost 2 million chips.
You know, I obviously won the last 2 big confrontation hands with her, but over the years, she's probably has gotten the best of me way more than I've gotten the best of her.
And now Vanessa Selps can celebrate.
These just have been a couple high-profile hands in key situations.
Now, is anyone shocked that Tony G appears twice on this list?
You know it.
He's had his fair share of verbal brawls at the tables.
You come to my game and you're wasting my time.
None more impassioned than his squabble with a multi-bracelet winning man-child.
I love you. You're the best, Phil. You guys are the best. I have to clean you out every time I play with you. I love it. Oh, I'm going to butcher you so badly. I hope you got lots of rebuys.
You're the worst player at the table. You
I love to be the worst player.
It's the rivalry so entertaining, the big game built an entire episode around it. At number 1, Tony G versus Phil Hellmuth Jr.
All right, I opened for the pot.
And you looked, right?
Well, I think I looked. Allegedly, I looked.
Tony.
I'm all in.
Pot limit, brah.
Without looking?
Without looking.
Pretty sure he looked.
Well, you can't be all in. 66.
Tony repots it with ace king.
All right. You slow down. You slow down a bit. Are you going to save the rest?
Not if he believes you haven't looked.
Wow, all that talking makes me think he's strong. I was for sure going to call before that.
15 on top, Tony.
He's saying he hasn't looked though.
He most certainly looked. Did no one see him?
Did you look at your cards at all? I mean, it's...
Look, the people at home, no, I haven't looked.
Well, if you haven't looked, I guess I'll just move in.
Right.
Phil ships and Tony calls.
All right, you're close. You're up there.
Oh, you lied.
Of course I lied. It's poker, Phil. What do you think this is?
Wow.
What do you think, I'm blind? How many times do you want to run
Well, I asked you if you had looked or not.
You want to run it how many times?
I'll let you choose, Tony.
3
I
times.
I always lose, so... You kind of deserve to lose the first one.
I do deserve. I hope you win one.
Why would you lie? I mean, no, it's considered totally not uncool, man. I mean, it's not right.
I feel it's just a game.
That's etiquette, though. I mean, you don't
Phil,
say
what
you're
happens
blind
on this table in play is just a game. We tell whatever we want.
So
When do you
all
tell
the rules
truth?
of poker are just thrown out the window?
Well,
for you.
Call the floor man. If you think my hand might be dead, then.
You don't say you haven't looked at your cards when you haven't looked at your cards. You don't do that.
Okay, well,
it's like a rule of poker. It's like it's horrible etiquette. Because I thought you hadn't looked at your cards.
Come on, Phil.
Well, as if you want 25,000 this bad, you can have it.
You have to pay attention to the game, Phil. If you're a professional player, you would pay attention to me looking at my hand.
Karmically, he deserves to lose all 3. What a villain. I drink your milkshake.
So they're going to run it 3 times with the winner of each run taking a third of the pot. Flop. King 9 tray.
Tony pairs his king. Phil drawing nearly dead.
How happy are you now that it's not running once?
Turns a jack.
That's bad for me. I need that jack on the next round.
Yeah.
That's really bad for me.
Unless you get one now.
Yeah, unless I get
You
one
won't
now.
get any more. Win any more.
Terrible card for Phil. One less jack he can hit on the next run.
Give him the jack.
River, ace of diamonds.
That's kind of fair. Let's even out the deck a bit. You know, Phil, for me, I just want to undersell my hand. I don't know if the way I do it any way I can because it's a heads-up pot. That's me. I'm sorry that that's
You just
me.
admitted it was bad etiquette. You want to retract?
I'm sorry if I bullied you. I'm sorry.
It's
I don't want to bully you. I'm sorry. I feel
Tony,
bad.
Look, no problem. Nice hand, man. I mean, you know, you showed your true colors, which is bad for you here.
Here comes flop number 2. 7, 5, 10. No help to Phil.
That's not
I don't think you're the kind of guy that wants to show your true colors all the time.
No, it's just your true colors can't escape you. You are who you are. So.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's the way I am.
Turn number 2. Ace of clubs.
Phil's not even holding a club, so no flush draw can save him. He's looking for one of the 2 remaining jacks.
River, another 5, and Tony G takes the second run.
Don't rush. Don't rush. We like to keep you in.
Flop number 3. Queen, queen, king, and Phil picks up some outs.
I have a good feeling about this one, but the math is just so strong against. How can I get there?
No, you'll get there.
How can I get there?
You will. You will.
It's just too.
Everyone wants you to get there.
Turn 7, no help to Phil.
Okay, the last 10. 3 10s. You can take insurance too.
Got another needle from Tony.
Our final river, Phil's gonna need a 10. It's a jack.
Whoa, you got there!
That's not cool.
No, he didn't.
No. Sorry. I was just joking, Phil. Did you believe me again? Was
No,
that
I
bad
don't
etiquette
believe you.
too?
So Tony, so look, you're loaning me 50,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay, look, I don't accept it.
Okay, no problem.
But good game, man.
All right, I'm sorry, Phil. I really am. I'm sorry. I think you should retire. I think it's over. I think you're not there anymore, Phil.
And one of those two is now an elected representative of the people.
Get the hell out of here.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our countdown of ripping rivalries. Check out our other top 5s at Pokerstars.tv. Coolers. Hands you can't get away from. Clashes that can't be avoided.
Lucky, obviously.
Collisions you have to watch.
Is this a standard deck or just one with all the letters of the alphabet?
Straight from the freezer, here's our top 5 crazy coolers. Well, any hand that results in Tony G being silenced has to be included. At 5, Vanessa Russo has the honor of dealing the icy blow.
If you win the hand, you keep me quiet.
Don't believe you. That bluff I'll call. That bluff I'll call.
Tony just added unspeakable equity to this pot.
Vanessa calls.
Tony's bombed the flop, which may make Vanessa think he's on a draw.
An ace on the turn. Russo has top set.
Hello, nasty. As Tony G would say, ace from space, and Vanessa has gone from 0 to hero.
Tony G does have a flush draw.
10,000.
And bets 10,000.
You could shut me right up.
How?
Well, by being all in and winning the pot.
Punch in the face.
Just push a button?
That ace dramatically improves Vanessa's hand, but if she put Tony on spades, he just got there.
She just calls.
On spade watch.
I check.
Tony checks in the dark. The river. A sick card, the 5 of hearts.
Now you got to show some guts. Can you bet this, or are you going to make a really weak check now on the end? Go on, Vanessa. You can do it.
For Vanessa, best card ever. Full house over full house.
All in.
Call.
Aces full.
Wow, very nice. That's the best. Very nice.
You got screwed?
I got a full house too on the end.
Wow.
And a flush draw. That shut me up. Well done, Vanessa.
Vanessa doubles through.
I got lucky, obviously.
Not really. I mean, it's...
We took turns getting lucky. I got lucky to get the aces, you got lucky on the flop, I got lucky on the turn.
I haven't won one hand when I've been good.
That silence won't last long. At 4 is a cooler from somewhere warmer, the Bahamas. At the final table of the 2009 PCA, Alex Gomez thought he was trapping Benny Spindler by slow playing aces.
850,000 out there.
Once again, Gomez with aces.
Oh my goodness. Quads on the flop. Don't ever run bad.
Strange. The last time Gomez had aces was against Kevin Saul, and 3 sixes came on board. He won a big pot. This time, 3 of a kind is going to come on board, and he's destined to lose a lot of chips right here.
In 9-handed action, Gomez trapped Kevin Saul with 6s full of aces for a huge pot. Now he's got jacks full of aces, but this time it's not the best hand.
Well, no, he's really just completely dead here. And now the question is, how is Spindler going to play it?
1.3. He is raising, wasting no time.
You know, this is an interesting play here from Spindler. He's got 4 of a kind, and, you know, popular wisdom would say you should just call and slow play it. But what he's hoping for here is that his raise looks like a bluff, and that Gomez does have a hand like aces, kings, or something along those lines, and is going to, you know, play for it all. Well, he's just going to call. Now, you know, the funny thing about this is Gomez actually thinks that he's trapping him.
Right, he thinks he's slow playing his hand.
He's trying to trap him as he thought and as he did against Kevin Saul earlier in this tournament. Now Benny Spindler asking for a chip count.
1,350,000 apiece.
6.
Let's see the turn card.
Now Benny can't really care how much Gomez has.
It's just trying to like show weakness, if you will. It's a little bit of a sort of Hollywood move. Gomez is checking.
And that's poker on a higher level, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now Gomez is really checking in the hopes that Spindler, you know, is going to bluff at it. As we know, he's not bluffing. He's got 4 of a kind. And Spindler is really taking an aggressive approach to this hand to try to get as many chips in as possible. A big bet once again of $2 million.
Pot up to $5.5 million now.
Well, this is the opportunity now for either Gomez to be an absolute genius and make the most remarkable laydown we may have ever seen.
Don't bet on that.
Or he might just decide, all right, now's the time. Let's get all those chips in the middle.
I'm all in.
Oh, and he does. He's moving it all in.
I call.
He's calling. He's got 4 of a kind. Gomez says, completely dead. River card is totally irrelevant. Spindler wins a monster pot, eliminating Gomez. He's up over 16 million in chips now. Stunned. Look at the crowd. They can't believe it. Pocket ace is going down in flames. The river now just a formality. Spindler now is going to have a stranglehold on this tournament.
You get the feeling it's going to take Alex Gomez quite a while to shake this one off, despite taking home $750,000. Pocket ace is four-handed. I mean, you're supposed to win that pot.
Aces cracked in epic style. Well, the PCA has seen its fair share of big hands over the years, and in 2016, Philip McAllister rivered the biggest hand of all.
So Tedeschi's all in with a set of queens, but there's still monster draw action on the side.
The river card is the ace of hearts, a royal flush for McAllister!
No way.
300.
Rubber is betting. It doesn't matter what his cards are. He can't win.
All in.
With his royal flush, McAllister shoves on rubber.
I know you're sick, but I don't know if you're that sick.
He's not that sick.
Flip a coin. Eventually. Probably best.
Oh, look at this baller.
Rubber lets it go.
Fold to a flush?
No, king 10 clubs, yeah?
Royalized.
Painful way to bust, but at least they weren't heads up for the EPT 12 Grand Final title. Cue Jan Bendik versus Adrian Alan at number 2. All the chips are going in so quickly, it's hard to keep track. It started at 525. Bendik made it 1.65 million.
Oh, man.
And Alan flops a set.
I mean, maybe the ace will save Bendik from getting stacked.
I mean, they've been playing tight enough that I guess even more so than usual, you might give credit to ace, but I mean, this is horrible.
Yeah, I wonder if Bendik slows down now. Alan called pretty quickly. 1.6 million apiece, 6.6 million in the middle, a 10 on the turn. Well, we said it might take a cooler to end this.
This is ball game.
So Bendik checks the turn.
Cheeky.
Alan bets 1.5 million, a small bet into a huge pot. I would like to point out, by the way, that Adrian Alan is not drawing dead. 2% is 2%. A one-outer still has a chance. A raise to 4.25 million from Bendik.
Feeling quite nervous.
Just a call.
Oh, they're saving it for the river.
Nope. Complete brick on the river.
All in.
Bendik shoves. Alan calls and it's all over. Jan Bendik has won the EPT 12 Grand Final.
Man, he's been around forever. Yes. Good for him.
Yes. EPT 9 Player of the Year. 3-time main event finalist. And on his third occasion, he is a winner. From one Monaco champ to another, and our number 1 crazy cooler. At the season 11 EPT Grand Final, Adrian Mateos found himself involved in a 3-way, and not the fun kind. Well, we're heading over to the secondary table where we are on cooler alert.
Oh boy.
Ivanov opened with 5s, Pastor 3-bet with aces, decision now on Mateos, who's got queens.
That's not going to be good for business.
He 4-bets. Alasmar, our qualifier, has jacks.
Wow.
He folds. Christopher Frank
All in.
shoves with kings.
Oh, come on. Is this a standard deck or just one with all the letters of the alphabet?
I didn't look before.
Seriously? Boy, are you going to be happy and then immediately disappointed.
Ivanov has folded. It's back on Pastor.
Yeah, check this out, Johnny Lawden.
He reshoves. What does Mateos do now?
That. Feels bad, man, but I don't think he can fold.
What a ridiculous hand.
Having aces here and having them hold, that's how you become a grand final champion.
And is that? 5. So sick.
Sicker than Lucille Auster on a Gravitron.
I don't know.
He knows he's losing in at least one spot, but his odds are also pretty sick.
I think I have to call. Yeah.
Mateos calls!
Good aces? No. I swear I fold jacks. I swear.
Cool story, bro.
Aces versus kings versus queens.
Well, none of the 3 ones, eh?
6 sweat for everyone so deep in the tournament. Even aces aren't totally safe.
Juan Martin Pastor set to triple up. Christopher Frank likely to be eliminated. The flop. 10-4 deuce. The turn card. It's a queen!
I am so sorry. Buenos dias, Adrian.
And now there's a 90% chance we lose 2 players. Mateos goes from worst to first, and it's a double KO! Frank out!
Yes.
Pastor out!
That really sucks.
It's never happened. I swear I fold the jacks.
Not now, Hattie.
Did anyone think aces were going to hold there? Wow. So, those are the most talked about crazy coolers. Keep watching for more countdowns on Pokerstars.tv. To call or not to call? That is the question. If you're wrong, you'll look like a chump.
Oh, I'll bet a jack there anyway.
But if you're right, you'll look like a champ.
Nice call.
We call. No, even.
Let's count down our top 5 hero calls. Number 5 comes from the EPT4 Barcelona final table. Sander Liloff's spidey sense must have been tingling during this hand against Greg Dyer.
Greg Dyer here deciding to race it up with 8-6. Maybe he's learned a trick or two from his favorite player, being Adam Junglin, who we just saw knocked out of the table.
Raises to 72,000, small blind pass.
Sander Liloff is the chip leader.
Call.
And he will call in the big blind with his pocket 5s.
And Dyer is checking back to see, what did I have again? I knew it was crap. 8-6, oh okay, that was it.
Flop is 9 of spades, check of diamonds, 4 of spades.
And the question is, who's going to bet at this pot first?
Sender checks.
The answer is Greg Dyer.
You would think that that was enough to just take down this pot then.
11,000.
He
Or,
could
sorry, 110,000.
He could very easily
110.
have a jack, a 9, or a pair higher than 5s.
I said 11. It's not a.
So therefore, you should have to make the minimum bet.
Oh.
Oh, that's the correct rule.
Okay.
Mark Telcher's playing the role of tournament director.
Okay, great.
Well, what that in essence means is that Sander Liloff gets a free card right now.
24 is the minimum, right?
Yeah, that's the bet. 24.
24.
Unfortunately, Greg got caught up in his words, and he's been punished for it.
Turn card is a 7 of diamonds.
Well, now Greg Dyer has picked up a straight draw.
And a 5 is sure to have caused a lot of action on this river.
That might be enough to get Sander Liloff to lay down the 5s. He might put Greg on a draw. A couple of spades, a couple of diamonds, the straight draw out there as well. And that's probably why he has called here.
River card, 4 of clubs.
And Greg Dyer misses on the river.
This is an interesting pot right now. I mean, I would not expect Lylov to make that call on the turn. But he has, and having made that call on the turn, he has to make the call on the river as well.
Well, Greg Dyer can only win this hand by betting. Can he make a big enough bet to get Lylov to lay down his hand?
Well, right now Dyer is hoping, in a sense, that Lylov was on a draw, because if he wasn't on a draw, he's already made up his mind. He called on turn, he's going to call on river, and that's what we see people doing so often here, getting called in these situations. But is Lylov experienced enough here?
330,000.
It's a big bet from Greg Dyer. And I'm not sure if I was sitting there with a pair of fives, staring at that board and playing the hand back in my head, I could make the call, but that's what he does.
That is an amazing call. But it's not a good play by Dyer because he knows that Lylov made his choice in the turn.
Which is 8 high, and with a pair of fives.
That's a pot of 1.1 million.
And that is a confidence pot.
Sanders' instincts were correct, and instincts just get better over time. Take Eric Seidel, for example. He's played more poker than you've had hot meals. And Eric ate Dmitry Ivanovic's lunch in the EPT 11 Grand Final Super High Roller. We're going to sweat with Eric Seidel here, which means we're only going to see his hole cards.
Sweating with one of the best in the world. I love it.
Ivanovic completes.
Check.
Seidel's hand is Jack 4 of diamonds. He's checked his option.
I like a free flop with this hand, sure.
Only one diamond on the flop. Seidel has checked. And Ivanovic checks behind. Oh, there's another diamond. Hello, flush draw.
Finally.
Here comes a bet from Ivanovic, 300,000.
Totally fine with a call here.
There is the call. The river card is a heart. Seidel with just Jack high.
So now we just want a free showdown.
I don't think Seidel's going to get it. Ivanovic bets 525k.
Well, for me personally, this is an insta-fold. I just don't see how we're ever winning here. Yes, we know he tries to win every single pot, but we're losing to some of his bluffs even. But Eric Seidel, not me. He's a really good poker player, and it looks like he's thinking about heroing.
Heroing with Jack high? I still can't quite believe he is thinking about calling this. He's called with Jack high.
Makes a call I wouldn't make.
And he's right.
And wins a pot I wouldn't win. In a tournament I would never be in.
Wow, behold the master at work.
That is 5-0 for the old-timer. Urbanovic is getting his lunch eaten, and he knows it.
Well, that heads-up battle against Seidel made Urbanovic rethink his approach to the game. At number 3, more Super High Roller Supremeness. At the 2015 PCA, with the title on the line, Steve O'Dwyer found himself facing an audacious bluff from amateur Roger Sipple. Ace 10 for Steve O'Dwyer.
Uh-oh, Steve's doing the dominance dance.
He calls.
Plays it kind of slow.
The flop is Queen 8-8. It's a gut shot for Sipple. O'Dwyer still ahead with ace high. O'Dwyer's playing in flow. He's checked the action to Sipple.
And Steve can now call a lot of C-bets because it's a smaller pot.
That's a chunky C-bet from Roger, 750k.
And I don't think Roger's going to have much here very often.
O'Dwyer calls. A pot of 2.4 million. The turn card is a deuce, it changes nothing.
Can Roger dup? Nope.
Check, check on the turn. The river card, a 3. It's a brick. Sipple misses its draw, ace high is the best hand. O'Dwyer checks for a third time.
I'm all in.
And simple bluff shoves the river.
Roger. Roger, what are you doing to me?
This is really tricky. Last time Raj did this, he was stronger than the drinks at the players' party. But this is not how most players are going to play their bluffs.
And that is certainly the kind of thing a player of Steve O'Dwyer's caliber is going to notice. We can see he has the best hand. A lot of players are going to fold in this spot, and if Steve does fold, he'll still have a 2-1 chip lead over Roger. But considering he has the best hand, if he heroes with ace high, he will win the tournament.
Father Time is going to need some time.
Good call.
He calls!
It's over.
Good call.
Incredible call.
Ace high.
With that hand, Steve O'Dwyer wins!
Wow. I didn't have you on a pair and you didn't have one. I didn't think you were going to make that call.
I was worried I had a 10 that blocks some of your gut shots. So.
At number 2, we revisit the EPT 8 Berlin main event and Davide Katai's quest for the third jewel of the Triple Crown. Jack 7-5 flop, ace high still good. Katai checks.
Checking to the pre-flop aggressor. Chen should continue.
He does, 330,000.
Ace high will often be the best hand, just like it is on this hand.
Katai calls. Nine of spades on the turn. Changes nothing. Katai checks a second time.
See if Chen slows down as well.
He does. He checks behind. 10 of clubs on the river.
You would expect it to go check, check, maybe check bluff here. But it looks like we're going to see a bet from Davide Katai.
Is this a value bet or a bluff?
Pretty sure he doesn't want to call, so I'm guessing this is a bluff to try to fold out a 7 or a 5. Chen should be ditching this right about now. But he's not. I know he's not calling.
Well, this is certainly a bluff. A raise to more than 1.5 million.
To be perfectly honest, there are tons of hands Andrew could have here that have ace-3 beat. Tons. Katai is not taking his gaze off Chen at all. It's like me with a chubby redhead. This would be some kind of absolute sick soul read.
Yeah, call.
Awesome call alert.
Agreed. I don't know how often ace tray is going to be good in that spot, but it's infrequently enough that I'm confident in saying that is a losing play in the long run. But Davide Katai just made a soul read on par with Mystic Meg.
Katai went on to win the title and earn that coveted Triple Crown. Well, talking of players who've won a lot of tournaments, Jason Murcia is at number 1. Before anyone knew his name, he came to Italy in 2008 to play EPT4 San Remo, and he made the call that launched a career.
Okay, 5-9 there for Jason Mercier. Oh, he's suddenly,
wow.
Now he's suddenly. Now
this is not something we've seen before, is it?
No, well, four-handed. You see, he's going to start opening up now that the four-handed, the right thing to do. Good for him. He's set up a table image.
Yeah.
He's going to capitalise on it.
80,000.
I can't see him getting called unless.
Anthony pass, small blind pass. Every call.
Eric's making a mistake here, I think.
Yeah.
He really is. He's calling just to try to outplay him.
Check.
So if you've got aces or, you know...
2 players, Eric check in the dark.
Let's see what happens here.
Oh, I hate that. He's checked in the dark again.
Flop comes.
Yeah.
5, check, 6. Jason checks.
Jason
Here
checks
is the
as
turn.
well.
It's an 8.
What's Koska's going to do now?
220.
220,000.
Betting 220,000 into a pot of 187,000.
220,000. Did he say call? Oh, well, he's picked up a
Jason
middle pin.
call.
He's picked up a middle pin
220,000.
straight with his pair of 5s. So he needs a 7 or a 9. What do you actually? as it is.
He doesn't actually need
he's
anything,
winning.
but if he thinks he's behind, that's what he thinks he needs.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I'm thinking in my head too.
Board is 5, check, 6, 8.
Koskas didn't like that call.
8.
Okay. I'm all in.
Eric, all
Wow.
Very great strong play there. If Mercier can pick this up, this will be an incredible call. If he can. How much has he got to call here? 700,000. And his stack is 2,244,000. So he'll still be left 1.3 million if he calls and gets it wrong. Has he got a jack in his hand? Has he got an 8? Think it through. He's thinking it through. Checking out his body language. He's looking at Eric.
From what we've seen,
of his eye.
From what we've seen of Jason, do we think he can make this call?
I've no idea.
Can you get a read on Eric Koskas?
I think he thinks his 2-pair are good here. I think instinctively he thinks his 2-pair are good. But remember that these guys play hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hands online. You know, they have a sort of feel for when they might be ahead. What's he got? He's got ace king. If he's got no pair, then I'm good. Could he have been betting a flush draw?
If his instinct is that his 2 pairs are good,
I call.
Just got to decide whether to trust his
What a
instinct, and that's
call.
what he does.
Showdown.
What
He's
a great call.
made the call, and Koskas will show he had absolutely nothing.
That is an absolutely excellent call.
He went with his instinct, he made the call, and he's eliminated Eric Koskas.
He has. It's a brilliant call. It's a brilliant call.
What did he do?
Congratulations, sir. Thank you. It's wonderful.
Jason now has more than $17 million in live winnings, and crucially, we now know how to pronounce his last name. Well, those are our top 5 hero calls. Keep watching Pokerstars.tv for more countdowns. To err is human.
Come on, cry on my shoulders.
To err on camera is entertainment. They say you should learn from your mistakes. Well, we've pulled 5 big ones from the expanded Pokerstars archive. So maybe you can learn from these guys' mistakes instead.
Please don't bluff.
When you're convinced you're beat, it's tempting to muck your cards at Showdown. But in the Barcelona main event in 2010, Giuseppe Pantaleo learned a valuable lesson.
So 2 big stacks go to the flop. And the flop is queen high. Nothing for either player.
This is a fairly safe flop to continuation bet. This only hits a queen and a club flush draw. You can bet and take it down. Or he can think about it and check back.
Another queen comes on the turn. It's also a 3rd club. And Lozano feels like he can steal it.
Giuseppe slowed down on the flop. Jesus is going to take a stab.
230,000.
Well, again, Giuseppe's going to think about this.
We saw him happily float against Chandra de Vries.
Yup, and it looks like that's what's going to go on here. Giuseppe has a cunning plan in store. He's going to float this turn with nothing to try to win this pot on the river.
They both have the same hand. Queens and deuces with a jack kicker.
The aggressor will probably win this pot.
Lozano is not shut down. He bets a second time.
And Giuseppe's reaching for chips. It looks like his plan is falling into place. He's going to raise Jesus off this chop pot.
Makes it 790,000.
How much?
If Jesus thinks Pantaleo's on the steal, can he find the courage to re-raise him?
Well, Jesus can't possibly call this river raise. He could only be good if Giuseppe was calling his turn bet with a complete airball to bluff the river. To win, he needs to re-raise.
He's called!
Immediately. Well, it's going to be a chop pot.
Whoa, Pantaleo was just mucked.
Giuseppe just forfeited the pot by mucking his hand, and it would have been a chop pot.
Yeah, but you don't think someone's going to be calling you with the same hand, do you?
That's exactly why he mucked.
I can't believe Lozano called there with Jack high, and I can't believe he just mucked.
I had the Jack high too. You saw it?
Well, if there's one lesson to be learned, never muck your cards until your opponent's hand has been revealed.
Bluff called off a chop. Yes, that actually happened. At number 4, Neil Farrell blasts off in full Feraldo fashion on the bubble of the 2014 Barcelona main event. Ollie Price calls out of the big blind with Jack 8, and we're going 3-way to the flop. Top set for Lamprecht.
Hey, all right, you flopped the set, James Woods, from the hard way.
He checks. Price, who has nothing,
and this is weird,
leads for 13,500.
Most folks are never leading anything here, but Ollie's no slouch. My guess is that this is part of an overall strategy we're not privy to yet.
Farrell calls with ace high.
Not surprising, Ollie's lead usually isn't very strong. Lamprecht is going to want to raise here, but I'm not sure he needs to. He's basically got a lock on this hand against even really strong ranges.
He's made it 36,500. Gets a fold from Price.
I'd be far more surprised to see Neil call now. He pretty much has bottom of his calling range to the original bet, let alone this one. Isn't that right, James Woods from Cat's Eye?
Call. Well, I guess we're going to the turn.
No, and James Woods from Videodrome looks kind of sick about it. I don't know why.
8 of hearts on the turn. Puts a flush draw out there.
Should be a pretty easy shove for Lamprecht. He's got about half pot.
There he goes.
Ooh, piece of candy.
And I guess Farrell feels he's getting a good price.
He might think he has to call, and he probably hates it.
Could just be dead. This could be fun.
Calling on the flop was probably the worst decision by a Farrell since the movie Phone Booth. But unlike Phone Booth, this is not going to buy this Farrell a new house.
He calls.
Considering that.
Time to show. I did not think you would have that.
It's on TV.
And Neil Farrell is drawing dead. Lamprecht will double up here.
I would have lost all this stuff. You could have shoved it anyway. That's fine. Nice hand.
Man, kind of lucky too.
What a bizarre hand.
Oh, bad news, Feraldo. Gotcha.
At number 3, it's another hand from Barcelona. Maybe it's the heat. In the Super High Roller in 2014, Martin Jakobsen did a Neil Farrell. We're going 3-way to the flop. And that flop has a 4 on it. A set for Coleman.
What's Martin doing? He should be checking here. This is bad timing.
He leads the flop for 77,000.
I like a flat call here from Coleman because I think Martin's donk leading this flop with a bad hand way more often than a good one. So if Dan raises, he probably gets 2 folds way too often, which you don't want. You want Martin to keep bluffing.
Coleman does just call. Inside out, folds. We'll never know what he had. 10 on the turn. Jakobsen now with a gut shot.
Martin's probably never going to get a fold here unless the board runs out so badly for fours that it makes his hand actually win.
He's betting again with just 9% equity. 155,000.
There's not much more reason for Dan to fold now than there was on the flop. 7-8 got there.
Once again, Coleman just calls. 627,000 in the middle. One card to come, and that card is a king. A set of fours are good.
Yeah, I don't think Dan's ever folding. Hopefully Martin just gives up.
He bluff shoves.
Or he just blasts off. Probably not going to work.
Quick call from Coleman. And Jakobsen's out.
Let me just calmly take a second before exiting this 50K tournament.
Martin Jakobsen, the eternal bridesmaid on the European Poker Tour.
Good luck, guys.
He'll be off to Vegas in November to compete at the World Series of Poker main event final table.
That was nice.
Huh?
That was a gift.
It was sick. Sick. I've never seen him doing something like this.
Yeah. That was ambitious.
Huh?
That was ambitious. You don't need to do stuff like that.
8-7.
Only against you, kid. Only against you.
Don't cry for either of those guys. Both won 8-figure scores at the WSOP that year. Now, guess where hand number 2 is from? Yes, more Barcelona buffoonery. In 2012, the year of the fins in hats, Nikolai Pobal forgot a cardinal rule at the final table of the main event.
You know, Pabal's supposed to be wearing the silver hat, but he didn't want to play the hat game.
And he claims he likes to party. The flop is king high with 2 hearts, top pair for Jokamainen, the nut flush draw for Pobal.
That's a flop that's usually going to generate a lot of action. Pobal should have no problem c-betting here. Ace high is going to be ahead plenty, and if not, he's building a nice pot toward the nut flush.
Pobal does bet 450,000.
As you can see, even against top pair, he's not that big of a dog. There's absolutely no reason Jokamainen should be folding top pair just yet. Maybe not even if another heart hits.
Yanni will call, and we go to the turn.
I bet he wishes he had a hat now.
3 of diamonds.
Pretty innocuous card.
Jokamainen checks top pair a second time. Pobal checks behind.
Opts to take the free card.
It's a heart on the river. Pobal now with the stone cold nuts. Jokamainen checks to him. And he checks behind? You can't do that.
Up goes the nuts.
Wow, after playing for 5 days and 12 hours, mistakes like that can happen sometimes.
What do you guys? Second nuts?
No, he has the nuts. I don't have second nuts.
Then I do. One hand?
1 round.
No, 1 hour.
1 round.
It's actually against the rules to check back the nuts.
So we'll be playing the next hand when he's big blind.
When he's the big blind next year, he can come back in.
Nikolai Pobal gets a 1 orbit penalty.
And for right now, you can just stand right here. It won't take long. It's 3 hands.
Yeah. Who the f this guy?
Well, controversially, we are leaving Barcelona for the conclusion of our countdown. The biggest head scratcher of all time comes from Poker After Dark. It takes a lot to make Phil Ivy's jaw drop, but that's exactly what happened during the first season of the show.
See that logo on the middle of the table, son?
Raise to 1200.
The logo I tried to put.
I think you would call it the St. Patrick.
Sure. Button raise, there's never anything.
Contrary to what
Anything
Patrick
close,
might think,
calling
Jennifer
still.
has a real hand, and it just got better. She's flopped top set. Patrick flopped a pair of 10s with a gut shot straight draw.
Bet 2,000.
Full house? I can't beat that.
I thought you had pocket kings. I was like,
I almost thought I had you.
Oh, surrounded by that lineup, you can't help but feel for her. Well, those are the top 5 mistakes that hopefully you won't repeat. Look out for more countdowns at Pokerstars.tv.
Maybach music.
Well, Dwan picks up the aces. Well, that'll help console him a little bit from that last pot.
7-2. Pass.
And he makes it 7,200. Now we had the original raise under the gun from Alan Cunningham. He made it 2,000. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Wow. This is an unbelievable spot for Tom Dwan. Now, any other player, Patrick Antonius maybe gets away from the kings, but Tom Dwan with the aces? That's why Tom Dwan gets so much action. He plays so many hands. He mixes it up when this happens. He gets paid off. Well, this is unreal. Just to recap here, Alan Cunningham under the gun raised it up
19.
with pocket threes. Tom Dwan has re-raised it with the aces to 7,200, and Patrick Antonius with pocket kings has made it 19,000. You know, if Tom Dwan plays this tricky, this could get real expensive for Patrick Antonius.
Pass.
And both players are very deep. Antonius is $371,000 in front of him. Tom Dwan, $250,000 in front of him. Well, that's why we could see a wide variety of ways to play this. We could see a re-raise right here by Tom Dwan just to get the pot pumped up. We could see a flat call. I think that as deep as the stacks are, I prefer a re-raise. Go ahead and put a little more money in the pot. The thing is this, the way that Tom Dwan's table image is, I think it looks great to go ahead and re-raise right here. I think it gets paid off by even queens, maybe jacks, ace-king. I mean, obviously he's got Patrick Antonius dominated, but he's only 4-1 favorite. He's going to lose 1 out of 5 times against those kings. That's why I like a re-raise right here. Take the lead on this pot. Make it 19, make it 50-something. You know, 55, 60. Make it really tough on Patrick Antonius and help define the hand as well.
47,600.
I like it. And he makes it 47,600. You said 50-something, pretty close.
Yeah. Back in good old 93, you know when raise, re-raise, re-raise. They had kings to raise. I was back in the good old days.
What's that?
When you knew what they had, it was just action. It was kings raises.
Yeah. Well, that's how it is in these days, except when you're playing with these guys. Everybody had to put out tapes on how to play. It's your fault. You ruined everything. It's like nobody knew how to play. That was like the last year.
Patrick trying to work this one out.
In the world, but became superstars, especially 07, 08.
Patrick Antonius started the pot with 371,000. Tom Dwan, 250,000. And look at this. Oh my gosh.
Cool.
Patrick Antonius is all in. Tom Dwan calls immediately.
They did have aces and kings.
What'd you say? They don't have aces and kings when to raise, re-raise, re-raise?
I guess they do sometimes.
And we have a monster $500,000 chip pot. Unbelievable turn of events here. Aces versus kings. Oh, we've got it's Tom Dwan's dream here and Patrick Antonius' nightmare. We've got a house in the middle of this pot. This isn't a poker hand. This is a house. I mean, look at the size of this pot.
Good luck, boys.
Patrick Antonius really thought long and hard about flat calling. Now I wish he didn't. Well, here's the flop. He needs a king. Oh, my I can't believe it. It's unbelievable.
At least the pizza's here.
Oh, my. Tom Dwan gets all his chips in. This is a $500,000 pot.
Anyone have an ace?
Unbelievable, what a turn of events. Dwan needs an ace and only an ace. Well, there's just $500,000 in the pot, that's all.
And here's the turn. It's the Queen of Hearts.
Oh,
Tom Dwan
cards.
down to 1 card and only 2 outs, or he is going to lose a $500,000 pot.
Wow. Unbelievable. He's got to be about to puke right now.
I'll take 100 more.
I'm about to puke. It's the 4 of spades. Oh,
wow. Wow, just like that.
I mean, what is he feeling right now? You've played poker your whole life. What's he feeling right now? $500,000 in...
Maybach music.
Hasn't been his day. He's raising it up.
And as you say, he's raising it up with Jack 4 offsuit.
And I'm willing to bet he's going to try and continue it through. But here's Chris Ferguson. He might not actually get to see the pot. Chris with pocket aces. He's so quiet, and every now and then he just wakes up with a hand. And bang.
That's a big raise there. $26,500 raised to... Who's going to call that one? Now remember, Ferguson is very deep. Does Ivy have the odds to call with that small pair?
Well, he's around a 7-1 to actually catch a set on the flop. But he's also got to make sure he gets paid when he catches that set. So it's pretty tight on whether he can call this one, despite having over 200,000 in front of Chris Ferguson.
Well, he's going to gamble. He's going to call this. And the pot is actually the pot is $62,000. And Ivy needs a 3. And there it is. There's the 3. Look at this. How do you play this now?
Be a monster.
Ferguson with a pocket aces, Ivy with pocket 3s. And both players are very deep. Ivy with over 800,000. Ferguson with nearly $250,000, actually, over $250,000. And there's a $40,000 bet. Ivy decides to check it. Pot is $100,000.
$100,000.
And you get a check raise here.
Looks like Phil Ivey has made it 100,000 to play.
It's 100,000 total.
And it's 60,000 more to Chris Ferguson. The pot is 200,000, 60 more to Ferguson. And it's difficult to figure this one out. Ivy could easily have kings or queens here. If this flop was king high or queen high, it would be much easier to get away from the aces. Chris Ferguson has played so well till now. And he is going to call this, and this pot is now $262,000.
That could actually help Chris get off this hand.
I can't imagine him putting Ivy on a 9, though.
Probably not.
I mean, I think both players know we're talking about overpairs or a set. Ivy with a full house here, 3s full of 9s. Pot is over $250,000.
Come on, man.
Oh, and Chris Ferguson's worst nightmare.
Phil Ivey just moves all in. And Chris has a decision for all of his chips.
And I'm looking at Chris Ferguson's stack. It's a little over 100,000 still in there.
I call.
He says
he calls. He needs an ace here
or a 9.
An ace or a 9, thank you.
Yeah. I need an ace or a 9. About 4 outs, I guess.
$500,000 pot. And Chris Ferguson needs a 9 or an ace.
Here it comes.
To the river. A 5. It's not going to do it.
Nice hand.
Maybach music.
And pretty boy. And the big winner today, Patrick Antonius. And there it is. Phil Ivey in the cutoff seat with the hooks.
2,000.
Wow. And there's a couple of hands behind him.
Cool.
Raise to 2, call of 2. And here comes Brian. Looks like a deep reach. And then a change of plan. He calls with the 8.
Gives me that tingly feeling inside when these 3 players play a pot.
Well, it would have got her more stuck. He's gonna wait for her to use the bathroom and sneak some money under the table.
What a flop! Oh wow, this is it. What a flop here. We've got ace, jack board here. Ivy has flopped, bottoms full, and Patrick Antonius has flopped trip aces. And both these players are very deep. Each player has over $400,000.
When I moved to Vegas in '93, the big game was.
The pot is only $12,000.
I'm willing to bet it's going to go up at some point in this hand.
That was the biggest.
Probably a good assumption.
Chip came down for that game, and then it was a big deal when we kind of kicked it up to 8 and 16, and that was kind of the regular.
15.
Patrick Antonius re-raises, puts it to 15,000.
You know, obviously Patrick Antonius cannot beat ace king, ace queen, or ace jack. Little does he know that Ivy's got pocket jacks. And the pot is $27,000. And Ivy's, his eyes are just lighting up here. Just trying to figure out, how do I maneuver this pot to make as much as I possibly can?
But I mean, you know, they used to play. They were playing like 1-200.
And he is going to re-raise right away. He makes it 50 total.
He was just trying to launder money.
Phil Ivey not going to wait
I heard
to build this pot up. Patrick Antonius does have some outs here. He can catch an ace or a 10. And he is going to call this. And look at this. This pot is already $107,000. The turn is the 5 of diamonds.
That's a great card for Phil. He can be pretty certain that Patrick's not re-raising him with ace-5.
Although, if you remember correctly, Antonius did win a huge pot with ace-4 against Phil Ivey earlier.
$100,000.
And this is a huge bet here. Phil Ivey is making a $100,000 bet. Those are $25,000 chips. The pot is $207,000. $100,000 to Antonius. And this is the exact reason Ivey rebought.
Well, that $100,000 bet is really going to confuse Patrick. He doesn't know whether he's up against an ace-king, an ace-queen. He tried to find out with the 15,000 bet.
Cool.
And look at this. Patrick Antonius is going to call.
A 5 wouldn't get him any action, but would put him in front. A 10 would be a huge river. It's a queen.
It's a queen. It changes nothing. And for once, Ivey has not gotten unlucky.
Might scare him a little, though, that queen.
Of course. Remember, right now,
they're all talking at the start of this hand. Now everyone's watching. This pot is 307,000, and it could be getting bigger.
Phil Ivey trying to think, how much can I bet here? This is an enormous pot. Phil Ivey, the master, trying to figure out exactly how to get the big call.
A decent sized bet from Ivy, and Patrick should be able to get away from the hand. There isn't really much he can beat here.
No, you're correct there. But the pot is $300,000. What about the human side of it? Can you really let $300,000 go?
He's got to decide what he wants to bet, and is he going to pass if he gets re-raised and puts 150,000 in there?
I think he's probably going to bet about 200,000 here, maybe even more. The pot is $300,000. Phil Ivey, an absolute master.
He might even just declare all in. He's sitting with about the pot size in front of him, around the 300,000 mark.
And could Phil Ivey get even in just one hand? Absolutely phenomenal poker. And what is Patrick Antonius thinking right now, Gary? As he waits for Phil Ivey to make a bet.
He's probably trying to decide, what do I do if he bets? What do I do if he checks?
Phil Ivey, obviously really thinking this through. The wheels are turning.
He's gone back for the blacks.
Those are $25,000 each. This could really sort him out. And look at this. This is the bet. It's $225,000. Phil Ivey has just bet $225,000. This pot is over $500,000. It is actually $250,000. It's 12 black chips. The pot is $557,000. What do you do if you're Patrick Antonius?
$557,000. The only thing he can really beat now is a bluff. He knows if Phil Ivey is re-raising him on the flop, a third bet, he should have ace king, ace queen, ace jack, jacks full. But it's also got to be going through his mind that Phil Ivey is stuck, and he is stuck big. This could be his one chance to get out of it, to steal this pot. Is Patrick Antonius going to make the call?
Phil Ivey like a stone here. Patrick Antonius trying to figure it out. The superstar from Finland really puts the test here. $250,000 bet. If he calls this bet, Ivey will actually be ahead.
That's all it's going to cost. Just 10 black chips.
Exactly, 10.
Doesn't sound a lot. Just a little bit of plastic. But that is $250,000.
This pot is over $500,000.
Come back to play with the chips.
Not much Antonius can beat here. But can he say goodbye to that big a pot? You can just feel the tension in the room.
I call.
He says call. This is a monster, and it is the hand that Phil Ivey has been waiting for. $807,000 pot. Incredible.
Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Patrick Antonius.
Maybach music.
Although that's an overraise.
Tom Dwan thinking about what to do here. He's got 7-6 of hearts.
Ironically enough, we have a coin toss before the flop.
I mean, Robert, who has the edge in this game? I'm looking Patrick Antonius, Tom Dwan, Phil Ivey, three of the best in the world. Who's got the edge?
I'd be guessing if I told you. I don't really know.
Well, go ahead and guess. I'm curious.
I have to say Phil Ivey overall, but it's a close one. Real close.
Well, Tom Dwan is going to call. We're going to see a flop.
3-5.
Jack 5-3. Both players pick up a gut shot. If the 4 falls, talk about an action card.
Especially if it's not a club.
If a 4 falls, we're going to see some action. Ivy with a 4 would make the wheel. A 4 would give Dwan the nuts, as long as it's not a 4 of clubs, like you said.
Yeah.
Phil Ivey bets out 35,000 into this pot.
Pot is an astonishing $84,500. There's no going back from this.
This is a tough call for Tom Dwan, actually. He's got enough gamble. He's capable of calling here.
Well, it's not just calling for a 4, you're calling to float as well. And
Cool.
In position.
He can call to represent clubs. He can call to represent that he's got a pair of 5s, a jack.
Cool.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Oh, wow. This is unbelievable. Ivy cannot win this pot, but he's made a straight.
Both players have a straight.
Talk about the gin card. Ivy makes the wheel. Dwan has the absolute nuts.
We could see the largest pot ever in televised poker history.
There's 75,000.
80, 85,
90.
90,000.
90,000. Phil Ivey bets $90,000. If you're Tom Dwan, what do you do?
Wow, with a flush draw out there, I'm sorry, I'm going to go ahead and raise right here. But I'm not going to raise my whole stack. I'm going to raise it about 200,000 more. Make it look like I can still lay my hand down. Maybe 150 more even.
Now, Ivy's one of the best in the world, but can he get away from a wheel? He's made the straight. Both players have made the straight. Tom Dwan with the absolute nuts. Oh, talk about a gin card on the turn. Well, the biggest pot in the history of televised poker is just over 900,000. We have a chance of breaking that right here. Tom Dwan with the nuts. The 7 high straight. Phil Ivey with the 5 high straight.
He's definitely going to raise here.
The pot is $209,000. The action is of Tom Dwan.
Unbelievable.
142.6.
And the raise is 142,000 more.
More.
And this is where we're going to see how good is Phil Ivey. He's staring at Dwan's stack, trying to figure out where he's at.
258.
Can I have it all? Can I get all those chips?
I don't think Ivey can get away from this hand, but I'll tell you what, he is considered the best cash game player in the world. If anybody can get away, it's Phil Ivey.
I mean, at this point, I don't even know if Ivey wants to get away.
I'm all in.
And he's
all in! Oh my gosh.
Ivey is all in. Dwan calls with the nuts. Ivey cannot win this pot.
Wow. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
That's no good.
We have just broken poker television history. 1.1 million in this pot.
And he's drawing dead.
It is the biggest pot in the history of televised poker. And it's going to Tom Dwan. He's got the nut straight.
Maybach music.
Alright, so Jason Kuhn's gonna raise. First one in. It's not a straddle pot.
I mean, there is three stacks to the table.
What's that?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Doesn't feel that true.
Guess it depends on how much you have in crypto.
Set hunting. I thought you're not. You
Paul
don't
says he's set
in
hunting
right now.
with 8-6 suited. Trying to put some mind games on his opponents.
I had like 33% in my portfolio. Now I have less.
There are a lot of people who wanted to keep 25% of their net worth in cryptocurrency when it was $1,000 a coin. And within 6 months, it's $20,000 a coin. And now they're forced to have 90%, some percent of their net worth in it, unless they want to pay short-term capital gains tax. So they got to hold on to it for a year. So if that's the case for you, a lot more gamble in crypto than there is in poker.
Yeah.
Kuhn flops a straight flush draw.
Short deck. 6-9 is a straight.
Looking for the 9 of clubs or the 9 of hearts or the 4 of hearts right now. Love to see a straight flush in our big cash game. But Tom Dwan's got the best hand. He's gonna bet top pair 10 kicker.